Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be here with me today. Walter, at the workbench, and the whiteboard, making shavings. For Whiteboard Wednesday, we're going to start it off with the inauguration of one of the most important topics. And it has to do with sharp. What is sharp? In the simplest terms, sharp is the intersection of two planes, two facets. Facet 1, facet 2. Where they meet is the sharp point. This apex is where you're going to get your work done. Now, I don't really care what the angle is. It can be 1 degree or it can be 90 degrees. And in theory, you can go past 90 degrees, but we're going to just stay with this. As long as this flat surface meets with this flat surface and it comes to a point, you now have something called sharp. So I'm still fighting this cold. I probably will be for weeks. I get it every year. I have for my entire life. A couple years I almost died from it. Now, in our aspect of woodworking, we're talking about mostly hand cutting tools. I don't want to go down the rabbit hole of carbide tipped saw blades or certain drill bits and router bits and things like that, because that's a total different aspect of engineering. To cut wood, most of us will be dealing with this. Now, it is my belief that all steel is made up of material that has some sort of a grain structure. If this grain structure was made on a rolling mill, where you take red hot steel and you roll it between rollers, it's going to be lined up. The grain structure is going to be lined up with that. Okay. If you're talking like with a chisel, might be drop forged, where they take the molten steel and they drop forge it. That the grain can go in every direction of the shape of the mold of the drop forge. So, as you are sharpening the bevel side, the steel is trying to pull away and it creates a burr on this side or a wire edge. It's my contention that it happens mainly because the outer shell has a little bit different molecular structure than in here. I could be totally wrong, but that's my contention. So then what we do is we come back to this flat face and we hone that off. But in that process, we sometimes end up pushing it or creating another one that's going up. So then we chase that one and rinse and repeat until there is no more burr. We want the burr gone. All right? I'll talk about creating burrs in another video for scrapers. But when we're sharpening, we want the burr gone. And there's different types of burrs. Some are called feathers, some are called leaf, some are called wire edge. There's different types of burrs. So, what is sharp? Two faces come together to a point. That apex, how keen you can get that apex, will determine if it is sharp. Now, how sharp? That's a total different story. How sharp is determined by the grit. If, let's say you want to cut down a tree with a felling axe, in the olden days, the logging camps would have an axe sharpener and a saw sharpener, and his job was to keep the woodcutter's tools sharp. He would not make a polished razor's edge on an axe for felling trees. Why? Because there's dirt and grit in the bark of trees, and the minute a razor's edge would hit that bark, it's destroyed. So they would go to 80 grit, 100 grit. They would have limestone grinding wheels that could have been multiple grits in it. You've seen some of them turning that they're not round anymore because they wore off on one side more than the other. But in our world, working with planes and chisels, if we were to grind this on a power grinder, I don't care whether it's a grinding wheel or if it's sandpaper, and we were to use 100 grit just to shape it quick, we will have created scratches. All right? So now looking at this edge, and the bevel, there will be scratches all through here. Coarse scratches, 100 grit. Well, now, as we go out to the tip, we're going to start honing that maybe with 300. And that will begin to eliminate some of those scratches. All right? And we want to keep honing that edge until it is as polished as the back edge. So if you flattened and polished your back edge to 1,000 grit, you do the same on the bevel. If you went to 10,000 grit, you do the same on both sides. Now you've got a polished, sharp edge. All right, so how sharp something is in relationship to the abrasive. But is something sharp is in direct correlation to the flatness of these two surfaces coming together to a point. I hope this helps somebody. I hope you like Whiteboard Wednesday. We'll try it. Can use it to demonstrate a lot of different things. Stay tuned. There's another one coming up right after this. I'm going to talk about the aspect of keeping or creating a special type of burr. That's going to be one you're going to want to watch. Like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your shop. Go make some shavings. Walter out.